Get ready to get sticky.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sticky Situations. I'm Rachel, as you definitely probably remember by now because you've been listening to this, and I'm pretty unforgettable. Everybody remember to go follow, subscribe, rate, review, whatever the platform that you are listening on allows for. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, probably a couple others by now. I don't even really know. If you have any other platforms that you want me to be on, just send me a message and I'll work on it. You can also follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, Sticky Situations Pod, for both TikTok and Instagram, Sticky Situations Pod. And like the page on Facebook, Sticky Situations. If you want to come be a guest on my podcast, you can send me a DM on Instagram at Sticky Situations Pod, or send me an email at stickysituations@gmail.com. I was also toying around with the idea of like advice questions, but I don't know. I might not do that. If you do have any questions though that you want me to answer, send them to my DMs on Instagram or email. Again, Sticky Situations Pod on Instagram and Sticky Situations Pod at gmail.com. Also, I've said before, I am an aspiring shadchan. So if you want to date any of the people I've had on my podcast, or I guess me, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I would date a fan. I would have to see. You would have to make a compelling case to date me. But you can also DM me at Sticky Situations Pod on Instagram, or send me an email at stickysituationspod@gmail.com. Whew, taking care of business. Okay, everybody, we're in for a treat today. I have one of my friends from way, way back when joining us today. And I'm really excited to have her. I know she has crazy stories. Also, like, she's a very significant friend to me in this last year of my life because we're breakup buddies. We're literal breakup buddies. We went through she texted me that her and her boyfriend broke up, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm literally in the middle of breaking up with mine. And we've kind of been like a support system to each other like the past few months. Like, we've just been on a crazy journey. So yeah, we were friends before, but she's also this year been my breakup buddy and my moving on journey buddy. So everybody, welcome to the podcast, my friend Hillary. Hillary,
Oh, hello.
thanks for coming on. Welcome.
Yes, anytime.
Like I was saying before, me and Hillary have had a year.
Oh yeah, it's been great.
It's been quite a year.
It's really rough.
We talked about our like bad dating stories probably about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, on Pace
A little
Up.
bit more, like just a while ago, before we were each in relationships, we would just like discuss our bad dating stories. She actually came on my old podcast and we discussed really bad dating stories.
Yeah.
And then like all of a sudden one day she texted me, she's like, so I have a boyfriend. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And
yeah, it wasn't though. It wasn't awesome.
It's okay.
I had some rose-colored glasses going on.
Don't we all?
It was for sure a situation.
You don't have to talk about your actual relationship if you don't want.
Honestly, he's my worst story, so I'll share.
Okay, so should we just jump right in?
We should just jump right in. Why not?
Let's just jump right in. So Hillary, the best dates are optional because like best dates only if it's entertaining or you really want to share like a really great date story. But if you don't have any
really great story.
What?
I'm trying to even think if I've had a good date story because nothing has ended well. So like nothing feels like a great story. Like I had a good time on the date, and then he texted me afterwards saying like, peace, I'm not gonna talk to you anymore. So it's like that ruins the date. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I definitely can relate to that. I mean, I've had good dates, but they're boring, and then it's just like they ended.
Yeah, and then they ended, and they never talk to you again. So it's like, okay, then you're a bad date because you didn't follow through.
Yeah.
Like one guy I dated, we had such a good date, and like we had such good conversation. We went to like this little park near my house or my apartment, and it has like a huge waterfall, and it was so nice. And we realized that like there's not really a lot of room to walk around. Like you just kind of go for the waterfall and it's like right there at the parking lot. And then so we kind of just like explored what we could. And then we sat at like a picnic bench and we talked for a long time. Then it started getting dark. So we came back to my apartment and we were talking some more. We made out a little bit. And I didn't take it any further than that. And the next day, I was like, he wasn't answering me. And I was like, what's wrong? What's going on? Because we had like a really good vibe, like really good date. And conversation was flowing. And he texted me that I'm a tease and that he doesn't want to date me. He doesn't want to talk to me anymore. And it was a nice date, but it's not for him. And I was like, I'm sorry that I didn't have sex with you on the first date. And now I'm a tease.
Yeah. Men are just the worst.
They're literally, I like, what do you expect me to, I mean, like, help me out here, please. I was so accommodating. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
What I don't understand is like, I feel like, I was actually discussing this with someone, like some people over Shabbat. It was actually funny because this guy at my meal was talking about it, how it happened to him with a girl, how they had I want to have him on the podcast, so I'm not gonna say too much of his story.
Yeah.
But basically, not the same thing with the physical aspect, but just like he had this really nice date with this girl and they kept like going to different places. Like they went out for drinks and then that ended up with dinner and then more drinks. And like, he's like, I kept giving her an out to leave, but I was having a nice time and she seemed to be having a nice time. And then like the next day he asked her out again and she was like, oh yeah, I just don't think so. It's like,
she just was in it for the free drinks.
Like, I don't know if I wouldn't stay so long with someone that I wasn't vibing with. And if I'm not vibing,
same,
like, I'll leave. But then if I'm vibing, I'd want to go out again.
Right. Especially if you get out, like changing location. So easy to be like, okay, I don't feel it. I'm out. You don't have to string someone along and like make them pay all night. And then, like, I don't know, girls are guilty too, but guys are just the worst.
No, guys are actually the worst. Like, I don't know. I just would never do it. And I feel like I'm trying to think back to my dates. If I've been on a date that's just been really long and really good, and then he just doesn't want to go out the next day, he just texts me that he doesn't feel it. Usually I also don't feel it. More so, I think guys, like, I'm like very neutral about them, and then they say they don't want to go out again, and I'm like, okay, like, I don't understand how you're like, that after one date. Like, I was just super neutral.
Agree with that too.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever gone out with a guy who I actually liked who didn't want to go out after one date. Usually, like, at least they'll go out a couple times and then end it.
The last date I went on, I guess it was a good bad one. I have known him forever. I've known him since I was young. And we like connected on Hinge. And I kind of just like hit him up on Hinge just to see like what his life was up to, because like just genuinely curious and whatever. But it is a dating app, so I understand that like he had expectations that we would date and whatever. And so like I went out to drinks with him. He came to me like in my town, and like we had drinks, but there were TVs because we were at a bar, and he would not stop watching TV the whole time we were talking.
I hate that.
I was like, there was nothing good on. The NBA finals weren't on. Like, I can't even tell you what was on the TVs because I wasn't paying attention to them because I was being a like polite human being.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you can like look around while you're talking and you don't have to be staring into each other's eyes. Totally fine. However, like if you're commenting about what's on TV as response to what I'm talking about, which has nothing to do with TV, it's insulting. I mean, I wasn't having a good vibe anyway, so I was like, whatever. I wasn't super offended, but like at the same time, I was like, I wanted to be like, hey, yo, for your next date, like, just make sure you're actually paying attention and not commenting on what's on TV instead of answering what she's saying. I just like wanted to give him a piece of advice more than anything, because I was like, we're definitely not going on another date, but you might take this advice for your next date and like run with it. And then he was like singing to the music. I was like, totally fine. Again, I get it, but I like, we're talking. So like, you're obviously not paying attention.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, I don't know if I didn't say it to Hillary today. I said it to a different friend. One of my favorite pastimes is telling guys off and what they did wrong.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like you should tell him.
That is.
Guys should know what they do wrong. I mean,
honestly, lost
probably not all listening.
Don't even know. Whatever. I never saved him to my phone, so I don't even know.
That's fine. I don't save any numbers.
I
don't save numbers unless it's a thing. Like,
yes, I have such a curse that as soon as I save some guy's number, he ghosts me. It's like this crazy.
I have. I'll only save a guy's number if it's real, or if I think that like I might need his number again at some point, because I do go out with some nice guys who are like very rare, very, very rare. There are some guys who are like setups or who are just nicer but aren't for me, that I'm like, oh, maybe I should save his number in case I ever think of a friend to set him up with.
Right.
Usually that's not the case, so I don't have that many numbers saved. But it's like, unless I have a purpose to saving his number, I'm not going to save it unless we're like a real thing, or it's like a very long-term talking situation, right? Or it's already been established that we're not dating and like we might be friends and like maybe I'll need his number.
Right.
Like I don't think I saved my ex's number until probably a month or so into dating. And I think I talked about this last episode. But yeah, it was like, I think I might have told him that I didn't save his number, and he got mad, so then I saved his number.
I don't remember how long it took for me to save my ex's number. Should never have saved it. That's what the problem was. And he was really just the worst. You live and learn. I mean, honestly, he's my best story of a bad date. Like,
you can say it.
Yeah, no.
But wait, before we get into that, I have to ask you the basics that I always, I guess I keep forgetting to ask them. Okay. Let's just get to know you a teeny bit, just a snippet. Age, location, and relationship status.
Okay, my age, late 20s. My location, Columbus, Ohio. Shout out. And
Hillary and I have known each other since we were in like elementary school.
Second and third grade, or second and first grade.
Yeah.
You were in first grade, I was in second grade.
Yeah.
And my current status, very single as it gets.
Very single and ready to mingle.
Hit me up.
Yeah, just remember, boys, if you are interested, and you can send me a DM at Sticky Situations Pod, or send me an email at stickysituationspod@gmail.com.
Yes, I'm very open to that.
Yeah. And you know I love setting people up, even though it's never actually worked out.
Yeah.
But it's fine. We can change that. It's
just takes one.
We're very early in the career. Yeah, it just takes one. One couple to work out.
Right.
But okay. So let's get into your bad dating stories.
Okay. So I don't know. My ex was just the worst. The first date we went on, I don't even remember the first date we went on, but we also met and like started dating 2 weeks before Valentine's Day. So it was a little bit of an awkward situation because we weren't boyfriend, girlfriend yet. We were still dating.
It was a sticky situation.
It was. And so like he came to Columbus because he lives in Dayton. Lives in Dayton, but whatever. He's still alive. I don't know. I shouldn't say past tense. As far as I know, he's still alive.
Okay, he's our past tense.
He's our past tense. He's 100% my past tense. He lives in Dayton, so he came to me in Columbus, not that far, whatever. I don't ask for much. And I got him like a box of chocolate because he loves chocolate and whatever. And I thought that was just like something cute for Valentine's Day. And he didn't get me anything. I planned the date.
You know,
So bad vibes. Like if I look at like our history, I'm crazy. Like I'm crazy for being with this guy. He didn't plan the date. I planned the date. I planned where we were going to dinner. I got him chocolates and a cute card. And he didn't get me anything. And then he was like, well, we're in the mall, so like we can go to like Bath and Body Works and you can pick out a candle. I picked out a candle and hand sanitizer that I wanted to get. He could have paid for both. Am I wrong? Like he could have paid for both. He didn't. I had to pay for the hand sanitizer.
Oh my God.
For myself. But he did buy me the candle, but like he also bought himself 2 candles while we were there.
Oh my God.
So
and you dated him for months after this.
I dated him for 6 months after this. Crazy. And so he's just a bad dater and he never really planned anything. I can only think of one time where he actually did something romantic. The only time he ever got me flowers. And I didn't have to tell him to get me flowers. And I would tell him like that would be a nice gesture. He never took the bait. That was crazy. And then like, okay, so then we started, seeing each other more often, but whatever. We ended up moving in together for a couple months. I don't even know how long, honestly. But he was really big into trivia night. And I hate trivia. I'm a lawyer. I'm very well educated. I've gone through many years of school. I'm smart. I know that. Blah, blah, blah. I cannot tell you where this is in the world, or I don't do geography. I don't do history. I don't do I can't think of random songs. I just don't keep that stuff in my brain the way that most people have it at their frontal lobes to spit out so quickly. I know nothing about history. It's actually horrible. It's embarrassing. I don't like to talk about it, but I'm not that embarrassed by it if someone doesn't point it out. He loved to point it out. So he would make me go to trivia night with him every Tuesday. Also, something you should know about me, I go to sleep at 8:00 every day without fail. And so he took me out past 8:00. I would have to go with him because his friends didn't really have the time to go. So he was either going to go alone or I would go with him. I was so nice and went with him so that he wouldn't have to go alone. And he the whole time would be getting pissed at me for not knowing answers. And I'm like, we got the answer. You know the answer. Who cares from our team who knows the answer and who doesn't? Like I would get the pop culture answers. Like I was pretty good on that. But he would get like the deep history crap. And I was like, I don't care that I don't know that. I'm happy for myself. I'm happy with who I am. And like he would genuinely like verbally abuse me. And he would be like, you're so stupid. Like, I can't believe you don't know this. Like, how have you gone through that much education without knowing this? And I was like, maybe I learned it at one point, but I don't care to remember it. And that's why. And I would do this every Tuesday with him. And the next morning I would be exhausted at work. I'd be so tired. I would have to take a nap on my desk. And I don't work there anymore, just so everybody knows. So if my new bosses hear this, that doesn't happen. I'm very, very good worker. But anyway, so I would be exhausted the whole next day and all to sit there and be emotionally and verbally abused every week on a Tuesday. It was horrible. I made him always buy my dinner though.
I don't understand why you did that. Why you went with him.
I honestly shouldn't. After the first one, I should have been like, we were breaking up, honestly.
Yeah.
There were so many signs. He was a frat boy. He was the worst. He was like a bad frat boy though, because he wasn't even that cute. Like frat boys at least like are cocky because they are like give it like very generically attractive, but they are typically attractive. He and his frat bros were not attractive. And also all of them acted like they were still in college, which I absolutely hated. I don't even drink that much. But when they got together, it was one of them was dating a girl still in college. And so one night we went out and it was actually to a college campus, a small college campus in Ohio. And we went to a college bar. I was 28 years old at the time. And I was like, I am older than every single person in this room. I'm older than the bartenders. I'm older than the bouncers. I'm older than everyone. And I was like, and if one more 18-year-old touches me, I'm throwing a fit and leaving this place. And he dragged me to this. I was so miserable. I couldn't drink because I was his designated driver. Like the things I just did for him were so nice. And everyone was getting so rowdy. His friends were so annoying. Oh my gosh. So annoying. I was like, when are we going to grow up? When are we going to grow up? Because we're not in a frat anymore. We've graduated college. We've done things. We all have jobs. Like, let's wrap it up. Wrap it up. Okay. I mean, like when I'm with my college friends, yeah, we kind of like go back a little bit, but like regress, I guess, but we don't get like hammered on the side of the road. Not like we used to do that at all, but like
I was gonna say, did you ever do that?
I've never been hammered. I have been hammered on the side of a road, but like waiting for a bus to come to get me. Like perfectly fine. But yeah, he was just the worst. He was the worst. I shouldn't have dated him. But like he covers all the bases on worst dating.
So why did you date him?
Because he liked me and he wanted to be my boyfriend. I had never had a boyfriend before. So that was appealing. Honestly, that was why. That's it. I have no other reason.
We gotta find you a better boyfriend.
We are actively looking for a better boyfriend.
Because I mean, I'm not gonna get so much into it. Like our relationships ended around the same time.
Yeah.
But I had the complete opposite experience.
Yeah, no, you were treated like a princess.
Yeah.
And
there were nobody's
honestly
perfect.
There were things wrong. Nobody's perfect.
There were definitely things wrong. And like now that I'm dating again, there are certain things that come out that I'm like, oh my God, like I have like minor PTSD from this, like dating him. But it's like it's not anything major. I was not emotionally, verbally, any type of abuse. Like he was very good to me.
Yeah, which you're lucky. But you know, sometimes it still doesn't work out. But yeah, no, he definitely shouldn't have worked out at all. As far as he did. He lied to me about a few things too, that came out at the end of the relationship, which was super fun, especially since we were living together. But now I have an amazing apartment, love it, and a great new job. I don't know. Silver linings came from it. But yeah, no, still dating sucks. And these apps are just absolutely the worst. Like, I will give you an example. I'm on J-Swipe. I'm Jewish. Rachel's Jewish. We're all Jewish. Here we are. Okay.
We're all Jewish. Well, maybe some of my listeners aren't, but like
but we respect you also.
We respect everyone.
Yes.
But just primarily also most of my guests are gonna be Jewish because those are just the people I know. And if you're not Jewish and you want to come on the podcast, DM me, email me. You already heard the plugs.
Yeah. So this one guy, as of like 2 weeks ago, he reached out to me on Facebook. I get a random Facebook request and a message that came along with it. And I said, do I know you? I messaged him, do I know you? And he was like, no, I saw you on J-Swipe. So he found me off he saw me on JSwipe, didn't like me on JSwipe because I have it where it comes up if you've liked me. So he didn't even like me on JSwipe. He just saw me on JSwipe and then said that he just wanted to reach out and whatever. I thought it was cute. It's bold, blah, blah, blah. He wasn't even Jewish. Like, bro, I'm on the Jewish dating app because I'm trying to find a Jewish man. You're infiltrating the Jewish dating app.
Yeah.
And messaging me. And I was like, I talked to him a little bit to see what his vibes were, give him a chance because I'm all about converting somebody.
Snip him and dip him.
Yes. That's all you need to do. And he just was weird. He was so weird. So he wasn't even worth my conversion time. So I literally, and because I'm so against ghosting. Guys, if you're listening, one thing, do not ghost. Never ghost. Grab your balls, go. Tell them that you cannot date anymore. Or you're just not feeling it.
Yeah, the ghosting thing is a really good segue. It's not really going to be a story that I'm going to tell, but it's just like an emotion that I've been having. Not an emotion, a thought, a reminder of what I hate. Ghosting is the worst.
Well, what I was saying was I intentionally did not ghost this guy. I told him, I'm sorry, I'm not feeling it. Thank you anyway. Good luck. He totally accepted it, was fine, and everything happened. Like, everyone's going to be fine. Just be a man, and girls, you do it too. If you're gonna, do not ghost. Just don't ghost. You don't have to ghost. It's
yeah,
you can easily
just tell someone you aren't interested. Like, it's one text.
It's one text.
Like, literally, I think one of the things I hate most is being ignored. Whether it's by a random
100%.
guy, a friend,
100%.
like, I don't know. Like, I did have scenarios where my ex would ignore my text and I would get really upset. Yeah. I got so mad because you know what? It's not so hard for him to send me a text and be like, hey, I'm super, super busy or I'm out doing this. Let me text you tomorrow. Like,
hey, we are two strong, independent, working women. Okay. Yeah. We are busy. Yeah. We are busy people, but we still find time to say, hey, what's up? Sorry, I'm having a long day. It's kind of busy. Maybe we'll talk at 7. Or I don't know, something like that. But yeah, it's so easy. It's so easy to let somebody know you're going to have a busy day.
Okay, so here's my thing. I'm busy. I have a full-time job. I work. And yeah, sometimes I'm on my phone. Sometimes, some days more than other days. Like, it just depends what I'm doing. It depends how boring my work is. It depends how many meetings I'm in. Like, it just depends. I assume that the guys I'm dating also have jobs, because I only like to date guys with jobs. So yeah, during the day, if you don't get back to me, that's fine. Because I try to answer also, but like, it might take a couple hours. So like a couple hours difference here and there, like maybe you text me back during a lunch break, maybe like you text me in the morning and then like I don't hear from you until after work. That's fine. If it's during the work day, I take no offense to it. Right. But it's like, if it's going to be like days of silence, absolutely not. I'm just going to think I'm never going to hear from you ever again. Like, if you're going through something or if you're having a bad time, just say, hey, I'm just going through this. I just need to take a time out. Let me text you in a couple days. That's fine. But that still lets me know that you're interested. Or if you're not interested, just say you're not interested. But like, I can't do being ignored. But tell me if you agree. It makes you want to text them more and more and be more annoying than anything ever. It makes you want to repeatedly text until they answer and they have no choice. So you're not only gonna not be ignored, you're gonna make sure he hears from you. Yeah.
until he answers. And it would just be easier if he said he wasn't interested, because then I wouldn't text him 600 times.
Well, no, I don't text 600 times like that, because
I text 600 times.
I won't. I can't do that, because like I'm not chasing. I'm not chasing after a guy who may or may not want me. Like,
I'm not chasing. I'm just letting you know I'm annoyed.
yeah, I'm annoyed, but also I'm confused. And you know my rule about being confused. If a guy likes you, you'll know, and if he doesn't, you'll be confused. So like, if you're confused, it's a no.
Right.
And like, I'm in a state right now, and like, maybe I'm just overreacting. I'm not going to tell the story right now. Maybe it'll be for a different time. I'm just confused, and right now I'm leaning towards it's a no, because like,
I agree.
I'm confused. And any other times I've been confused, it's a no. And like, yes, sometimes things happen, and
right.
like, people go silent for like a minute. Like, I don't know. I definitely have a little bit of PTSD from my ex. Like, his phone would die, or he would fall asleep, or like, but sometimes like he would just be like out and not on his phone, and he wouldn't answer me. And then he would get home and his phone would be dead and I wouldn't hear from him. And I'm like, are you alive?
Plug in
like,
your phone. You're a grown adult.
Like, you know, I'm
Whose phone
texting
dies
you.
anymore these days?
Like, you know, I'm texting you. Also, like, it's a little bit different because we were in a relationship. I'm like, you know, I'm going to text you. You know, I'm going to try to call you before I go to bed. Like,
Yeah.
you know that I want to talk to you. I'm your girlfriend. Like, why are you, like, one night, this was like probably towards the end of our relationship, I was trying to coordinate something with him. Like, we were trying to coordinate something. It was a Saturday night. I was at a party, but like, I wanted to talk to him after Shabbat ended, and he knew I was going to text him after Shabbat ended, because I always texted him after Shabbat ended or called him. And sometimes he would be out, like, he would go out places, but he knew I was going to text him, and he knew I was trying to coordinate this, and he just didn't answer. He didn't answer my text. He didn't answer my calls. And like, as the night went on and on and on and on and on, and he still wasn't answering me. And I'm like, hello? Like, you're not answering from like 6 p.m. until like 2 o'clock in the morning? Like, where are you? And then it's like, why am I, like, I don't think you're cheating on me, but like, when I'm being ignored, I spiral.
And I mean, mine is definitely PTSD from a situation that happened to me a long, long time ago that I won't really get into here, but it's definitely PTSD from being ignored in a situation that was really not okay. And so now I just my anxiety goes crazy. I just can't do it.
My anxiety goes crazy too. I'm like,
and God forbid they watch your Insta story and
oh
texting
my
you.
God, I hate that. I can't stand that. You are on your phone.
You're on your phone.
You're on your phone.
Watching my Insta story?
Yeah.
You know I can see that.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm psycho. I check who watches my Instagram stories. I see everyone who sees all my Instagram stories, and I'm like, and I do this with friends too. I get annoyed. Like, if I send a friend a text and I see that they watch my Instagram story, but they haven't texted me back, I'm like, literally, I hate being ignored.
Friends too. Agreed.
I hate that. And like, yes, I am not perfect.
Right.
I will sometimes not answer texts right away, but I always get back to the person. And like, it's usually same day. Like, and if not, I apologize the next morning, be like, hey, I got back really late. Like, the only times I don't answer my texts are really just when I don't want to, or if I'm asleep, or if my phone dies. My phone usually doesn't die. Or like, if I'm really out at an event and I've been drinking, I won't answer my texts.
Yeah.
Other than that, if you text me while I'm awake, I usually answer unless I don't want to.
Yes.
And like, most of my friends, okay, I'm not talking about if you text me like at night and I'm like watching TikTok and like going to sleep, because sometimes I just don't have the mental capacity to answer a text. But that's going to be a text that's after 10 p.m. Like, any text that is sent after 10 p.m., that's leeway for me to answer the next morning, but I will answer the next morning. Like, if you don't get an answer by 10 a.m., like, then I usually answer by 10 a.m. because sometimes I need to get myself together in the morning. Like, I'm always rushing about work, like, whatever. I will always answer by 10 a.m.
Right. I agree.
But it's just, I just don't like being ignored. And it's like, you go radio silent. Like, if someone goes radio silent on me for more than 24 hours, and it's not a Jewish holiday or Shabbat, I'm assuming that you're not interested anymore.
Right.
There's no reason to go radio silent. Like, because if a guy wants to, he will. If somebody wants to text you, they will. If I want to text someone, I'll text them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't go radio silent for days, especially if it's somebody who I'm interested in talking to.
Agreed. It's ridiculous.
And like, I can't stand that.
It's the worst.
I can't stand that. And like, I hated that in my relationship, and we had our issues about it. And like, honestly, my next relationship, I had PTSD from it. And like, I mean, this isn't really a story. It's just like my life. And like, it's just like things that I have to like work on, that like in my next relationship, like Shabbat ended and I like texted the guy. Or maybe he had texted me. I don't really know, but we were texting and then he just like stopped answering. Like it was maybe he didn't answer in the first place, or it was like a barely back and forth exchange. And I was going to a birthday party and like it was hours and hours and hours. And I'm like, what's going on? And this was like kind of early into our dating. Like we were dating, but like this was very early. And I'm like, what's happening? And I just like had major PTSD from like being ignored. And I'm just like standing in the bar, like crying. And my friend is like, it's okay. Like, he's like, something happened. Like, I'm sure there's an explanation and it's fine. And you know what? There was a perfectly reasonable explanation. Like he fell asleep. And like that happens. It happens to everyone. And it wasn't on him. And that was only a few hours. But, like if I hadn't heard from him in like 24 hours, like if I hadn't heard from him that night and then not heard from him the next day, like
that's it.
You best believe if I don't hear from you at all Saturday night, I better have a text when I wake up Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Or like,
or it's over. It's done.
Yeah. The longer I don't hear from you, the more I'm out. Like, yeah. I need attention. I don't need attention, but like, and I don't, if it's something that's established, I don't need like the constant reassurance.
Right.
But like, especially at beginning stages of things, like I need something.
Right.
Like we haven't built up like, okay, like when my ex did that and we were 5 months into dating, like, yeah, I was just annoyed. I was mad. I'm like, what's happening? Like, then I was just mad. But like when this happened with this other guy, this was like only a few weeks into dating. And like, I was just confused. I'm like, what's happening?
Right.
Like, you say you like me, you say you want to talk to me, but like, now you're ignoring me.
Yeah.
And like, we don't have anything established. So like, it's not that I do get mad, but it's more like, okay, I just think you lost interest and now I'm going to move on myself. Yeah. And like, it just would have been different. I mean, obviously he couldn't predict accidentally falling asleep, but like, if he was going somewhere, like, and he was the type who would tell me, like, if he was like, when he went to work, he couldn't use his phone at work. So he's like, okay, I'm about to go into work. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Like, he was the type that did that. I appreciate that. I mean, like,
right. It's so
I don't think it's so necessary if like if it's just like a couple hours in between, but if it's going to be a significant amount of time,
it's so easy to do. And it's just a nice gesture.
It's so easy. And it's just like, if you're into it, like you should communicate it. And like,
yeah.
And I told my ex that once because one time he went radio silent on me for like a day. I think it was a day. Maybe it was more than a day. I don't know. And I'm just like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I'm like, we're in a relationship. You're supposed to be talking to me. Like, why are you ignoring me? Like, it's not like your phone is dead. Like, I know your phone is not dead because I see you watch my Instagram stories.
Right.
And like, I'm like, why aren't you answering me? Like, I was also mad because I think that was our 3-month anniversary. And I'm like, all I wanted to do was talk to you on our 3-month anniversary and you didn't answer your stupid phone. Like, yeah. Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. And
like, he was like, I was just like having a rough day. I just like didn't want to talk to anyone. I'm like, I am your girlfriend.
Right.
I'm like, you just can't decide you don't want to talk to anyone.
I'm having a rough day. I don't feel like talking to anybody. Text me
that because you know what? If you tell me you need some space away from everyone and you just like are dealing with your own stuff, like that's fine. I'll respect it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll ask you, like, hey, like, I'm here if you want to talk. Like, I want to be supportive of you. Like, tell me what's wrong. But, like, also, he was different because he was my boyfriend.
Right.
And, like, yeah, he tells me, oh, when I'm upset about something, like, it's us against the world. But, like, when he's upset about something, he goes radio silent. Like, no, I would probably force him to talk more. But also, I respect it. If he was just like, no, I don't want to talk to anyone. I'll talk to you about it tomorrow. Like, I just need today.
Right.
That's fine. But also, like, that goes for anybody. Like, if you need a day or two, like, that's fine. I understand. Things happen in my life too. And you know what? Sometimes I warn people, sometimes I don't. Like, I don't know. I had a really bad day like a few weeks ago, and I just like wasn't doing great. And like friends would text me, I'd be like, hey, I'm just like, I'll answer this tomorrow. Or like be like, I'm just like, I'm having a rough day. But
Right.
like, I don't know. You're allowed to go through your own emotional journey. Everyone's allowed to have their space. Everyone's allowed to have their time. Like, if you're actually interested in someone and you're actually wanting to talk to them, just tell them.
I mean, that's not even the worst of it. I mean, I think the worst thing for me, I mean, ghosting's pretty up there. 100% happens more common than these other things I'm about to say. But okay, I've had some crazy experiences on these apps. Like, crazy experiences on these apps. Like, I had one guy I matched with who was cute, whatever. And he messages me, hey, my girlfriend is the other person in my pictures. We're looking for a threesome. Are you interested?
Oh my God.
I'm like, no, absolutely not. Also, you're on like a wholesome Jewish dating app. Like, you're making us look bad. What are you doing?
There's a guy on J-Swipe in New York. I'm sure any girls listening have come across him. I've come across him by accident multiple times because he's actually like pretty cute. So I accidentally swipe on him. Like, I've done it more than once. In his profile, I didn't read his profile, obviously.
Yeah.
Because every time it happens, he's like, oh hey, like, did you read my profile? I think it's happened to me like twice within the past like few years. He's like, oh hey, did you read my profile? And I'm like, no. He's like, go read it now. And I'm like, okay. And he's like trying to be the Jewish Christian Grey, looking for like his Anastasia Steele. And I'm like, no, thank you.
Absolutely not.
I'm not interested. And I'm like, maybe I should read people's bios before swiping.
Yeah, you need to. I hate that when you get matched with someone, you're so hyped, and then you like look back and then you realize you didn't go through all their pictures.
Yeah.
And their other pictures, they are another human being.
Oh wait, I have something that happened this week. It wasn't a big deal, but like I was talking, okay, so there was a J-Swipe outage apparently, not on my phone. I think it was just on Apple. I don't have an iPhone. So there was
and then you got the free subscription, did you?
I think they told me I got a free subscription, but I don't know how to use it. They like sent me a notification.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they also sent me that same thing.
I just swiped through everyone in New York, so I don't know. I have no guys left. But
try living in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, so maybe I'll just put on worldwide. But so this guy and I had been chatting on J-Swipe before the outage. And then because of the outage, couldn't chat because so we couldn't chat. We hadn't exchanged numbers. So the match expired. I was like, yeah, fine. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. It's not like we were like deep into chatting. It was just like kind of surface level. We had been talking for like maybe a week or so, a few days. Who knows? I like barely get J-Swipe notifications anymore. Like, the app is so bad. Like,
the app is so bad.
The app is just so bad. So whatever. By the time I saw the notifications and then he saw the notification, it was like a few days of talking, but it was fun. And I was like, okay, we'll see where this goes. But then the J-Swipe outage happened. And I'm like, okay, this isn't meant to be. And the match expired. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe he'll come up again. Maybe he won't. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So I was swiping, and guess who I see? I found him again. I'm like, oh, like, let me see. Thank God I clicked in his profile before just swiping. he had updated a couple things in his profile, and I think he added a couple more pictures. I couldn't really remember, but he put in his profile that he has a daughter.
Oh,
And
that's
I'm
always
like,
a zinger.
oh, that was not in your profile before, mister. Like, I'm sure he had a daughter before. I think he said the age of the daughter. I don't really know. And I'm like, okay, so we were talking for a while and you did not tell me that you had a child.
Yeah.
So
You always gotta be careful with those ones, because if they don't say it's my niece and nephew or something in
no,
their
she
bio,
wasn't in the picture. She wasn't in
I'm
the picture.
saying, like, when you're swiping and you see kids in the picture, if they don't say,
oh yeah,
it's niece or nephew or something, no, I'm
no.
out.
No, he did not have
Good for
pictures of
you
the
if that's fine for you. If it's fine for you, okay. It's not
Yeah.
okay for me. It's not what I'm into.
But he didn't have a kid in his pictures, and on his profile before it didn't say. But this time when I saw his
You gotta be
profile,
upfront about that.
it said that he had a kid, which great. Now he's upfront about it. But when we were talking, he did not tell me
you
that.
did not mention it. That's so sneaky.
And I'm like, isn't it better for me to know from the get-go that you have a kid instead of wasting time talking to me?
Right.
And like we talked about this in another episode, but yeah, so I was like, I'm really glad I looked at his profile this time.
So yeah, you definitely have to do a deep dive into profiles. Look at all the pictures before you swipe. I never do this. I should take my own advice, but I don't do this. I just swipe off the first picture and then I match, and he's nothing like, he's an entirely different human being in his second picture, or his bio, something crazy. But like, what's crazy about me is if you Google me, so I had a lot of health issues. I had a stroke when I was 23. That led to, Rachel knows all this, I'm just for viewers, that led to me finding a hole in my heart. I have chronic heart disease. I am very independent. I drive, I go to work, I have a good job. Like I'm totally fine, made it through law school, everything after this all happened. And if you Google me, it comes up with a video that the American Heart Association biopicked on me about surviving my stroke and my heart disease, and like having heart disease and living with heart disease and living with stroke defects and deficits and everything like that. And I have guys that literally unmatch me after they Google me because I had a stroke or because I have heart disease. I'm perfectly capable of dating, doing everything. I just have to take a couple, like a lot of meds, but like a reasonable amount of meds, and like watch out for myself a little bit. But to unmatch me without saying a single thing, totally mid conversation, is so hurtful. And it makes me feel like lesser of a human because I'm so yeah, I'm not sick all the time. I just happen to have these problems. But like, be honest, like I can't handle that. Like, and I'll explain to you how it's not going to affect your life. Let me at least explain to you that you can date me without it like hurting you. And like, I just think that that's something that people need to know, that like you need to make sure that if somebody has something, ask them if they have it under control, or if it's something that they are going to have to help with a lot. Or if you don't care, then that's even better. But like, at least say something. The reason I say this is because it is hurtful, and you should learn more about people before you ghost them. Again, ghosting, and or lie about a reason or whatever. Just be honest. I think honesty is like the best policy. I think Rachel's gonna put in maybe her Insta.
I can put it in the bio on the Insta post.
Insta bio,
or in
donate.
Not in the bio. I'll put it in the post for in the episode post for the on Instagram.
Yeah, for the post where you can donate to the American Heart Association. I run a what's it called? Where I collect donations.
Charity.
I run, yeah, I don't run the charity, but it's the American Heart Association. You'd be donating to them, but you donate to me personally, and it goes towards my walking team. We do a American Heart and Stroke Association walk every year, me and my family. You can donate through that link. So appreciative. And it would just mean a lot to me if anybody listening would donate. But it is just a hard thing in dating that people, I mean, it could be anything. Like maybe you have ADHD and people will be like, no, I'm not going to date you. Well, ask me, am I on medication? Is it something I've dealt with? Is it something that like is not going to affect you whatsoever? Then maybe you can like make a informed decision on what you want to do before you just like totally write someone off based off of stereotypes. It's such a stereotype situation. And like people just don't know anything and will just not date you for the craziest reasons. And it just blows my mind.
I mean, also, just coming from the other side, if you do have something big that would affect someone else, you should disclose it.
Yeah, that's why I tell them, my mom always tells me not to tell anybody, just let them find out, or not just let them find out per se, but like tell them maybe a month into dating. I'm a person that believes in saying it as soon as possible. I always say, hey, feel free to Google me. The first thing that comes up, you'll see it's American Heart Association. You deserve to listen to this video about me and understand more about me, and then come back and we'll talk. But like, yeah, it's a huge thing. So I'm obviously going to like be upfront about it and disclose it right away. But don't be fake when it comes back around the other side and you need to respond to it.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I thank God, like I don't have anything that I have to disclose to people, but like I have had guys who have disclosed things to me and who have not, and I found out the hard way. And
yeah.
I think I might have told the story on the last episode or with the last guest, but I had a video call with a guy who neglected to tell me that he was deaf before getting on the phone.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, this is something you should have told me before, because like, yeah, he just, or maybe he wasn't fully deaf, he had like a hearing issue.
Yeah.
Like that's something you need to tell me. And then when I told him it wasn't going to work out, he was like very nasty about it. I'm like, listen, dude, like if you had been upfront with me from the beginning, like I was coming on to the video call just expecting to meet some guy. I wasn't expecting to like have to like put in more work to like enunciate and make sure you could read my lips. And like I need a little bit more preparation before that. Like I talk fast, I mumble. But again, then there have been other guys who like right away, like I think I matched with a guy who had cerebral palsy or something, and he told me right away, and I'm just like, I don't think it was a match for other reasons. I don't really remember what happened. I didn't ghost him, but it just, he might have actually ghosted me. I feel like our conversation came to a halt. Oh, I kind of do remember what happened. Okay, I think our conversation just kind of came to a halt. Like he told me and I was like, okay, like I asked a couple questions. And then this was also over COVID and I just like wasn't going out with anyone anyways. So I was like, okay, I can talk to him. Like, who knows? Like, I'll see. Like, I don't know. Like, you never know who you're open to dating.
Right.
But the conversation just kind of stopped. And I think I was the last one to send a text. So he never answered. A year and a half later, actually, this was like pretty recent. He sent me a message. He's like, hey, I just wanted to see if you would be interested in like getting drinks. And I'm like, or I don't know what he said. He was like, hey, I wanted to reach out. I'm like, okay, this is like a year and a half later.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You sent that to me, that conversation.
I'm just like, what? Like,
I'd ask you for drinks.
He also, no, that might have been a different guy.
Okay.
That's the returner. Oh my God. I gotta post that on the TikTok. No, this guy, I don't remember what he said. And I just sent him a very nice message that I just like wasn't interested.
Yeah.
And
like, okay, he gave you a chance to be a nice person.
Yeah, and I was a year and a half ago, and then now like life is different a year and a half later. He was also younger than me, like much younger. Like I had my things set, like I'm okay dating younger, but he was like, yeah, I think this is when he was like 3 or 4 years younger than me, and I'm like, how did you get through my like age settings? Like, he was like younger than my age setting, so I'm like, how? Excuse me, sir, how did this happen? Like, which is fine. I'm open to dating guys who are younger than me. Like, I don't discriminate as long as you have your life together. But like,
right.
It was just very different. Oh, there was another guy also who had some sort of learning disability who I talked to like a while ago. And I don't know why. I was like a couple months ago, I was looking through all of like the unsaved numbers, like the chats with the unsaved numbers in my phone, just to like see who they were. And I'm like, oh, should I reach out again? And this one, I don't even remember what happened. I think the conversation just kind of ended and he never reached out again. And his profile picture, because this was on WhatsApp, his profile picture is with a wife. I'm like, oh great, he's married now. Good for him. No, okay, so really quick, I'll just tell you the returner. I finally told him I'm not interested because he was on Hinge, like, and I don't think he's religious. Literally, this guy, probably for 2 years, like every few months, he would message me and like hold on, I gotta pull this up. Because it's just so ridiculous. And I'm just like, okay, so let's see when we first actually matched. Also, his pictures have not changed since we first matched. Okay, so this was July 2nd. I'm pretty sure 2020, maybe it was 2019.
That's crazy.
Okay, so we talk a little bit in July. He like asked me what I'm up to. Actually, this was in 2019. This had to have been in 2019 because this is not COVID conversation. He was going on vacation. Then at the end of July, he texted me again. I'm back from my vacation. Hi. I guess I never answered. Maybe I didn't see it. Who knows? Then he texted me in January 2020, and he's like, "Hey."
Okay.
Like asking what I'm up to. More in February. Then again in August. Hey. Oh my God. And then like, oh my God, this is actually so interesting to, oh yeah, okay, so this is during COVID. Okay, so then again, back September. Now we're in September 2020. Again, November. Conversation ends. November 2020. It's just, hey. I say, hey back. Nothing. Literally, we have the same conversations over and over. Now we're in late January 2021. He's like, any plans this weekend? Did you have any plans this weekend? Like, literally just asking, but like, I don't know. Then again, in February 2021, March 2021. Now we're in May 2021. Yeah. And then finally in June 2021, he's like, oh, are you around next week? I wanted to ask if you want to get a drink. This is in June 2021. Mind you, this had to have been like the 1 week I started dating my ex. I broke up with him, and then we like didn't really break. Like I ended things, and then we unended things. So this had to have been that week. And I'm just like, no, I'm moving. Let's touch base after. And then I didn't hear from him again until May 2022.
What a guy.
I mean, like I would not have like gone out with him after I moved because that's when I like got back together with my ex. But like, oh my God.
What a gem.
The re-returner. Like, you gotta love those re-returners. And his profile has not changed since 2019. No new pictures, no new nothing. Okay, so you guys know that I like to ask all my guests if they have dating advice for my listeners. So Hillary, do you have any dating advice for my listeners?
My dating advice is don't ghost. Be honest conversation. Listen to what the other person has to say and let them be honest and do with that information what you will, but continue the conversation. Do not ghost. No ghosting.
Yeah. And like, if you need a timeout, just communicate it.
Yeah. If you have a busy day, just say you're going to have a busy day. It's easy.
It's easy.
Be considerate of someone else's time.
don't just go MIA, because like if you go MIA on me, I give up on you.
What's it?
Yeah.
Or you're gonna get 600 messages from me.
No, I'm not gonna send you 600 messages.
I
I'm just
will.
like giving up in my head, and like maybe I'll send you a text being like, yo, what's going on? Like I just need some clarification. But
Right.
by the time I send that text, like
It's already over.
is my head really in it? Like you can rectify the situation, but like I don't know.
Apparently.
I probably already went back on the apps if I'm not already talking to other guys. Okay. And then the last piece of the podcast, Hillary, do you have your Real Housewives tagline prepared?
Yes. So I thought about this a little bit. I went between a few, but this is where it ended. I actually have a t-shirt that says this. And it says, so mine would be, I'm the lawyer that my parents always wanted me to marry.
I like it.
Thank you.
I like
Thank
it.
you. It's true.
I like it. Listen,
I would never marry a lawyer after becoming one, but
I'd marry a lawyer if you're a nice Jewish lawyer who wants to marry me. You know where to message.
you'd have to convince me. You'd have to convince me if you're a lawyer, if you're a good person, because
Lawyers are good at convincing.
I know they're also manipulative. So
Yeah,
it's hard.
that's true. Okay, well, Hillary, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
This was a lot of
Anytime.
fun.
Yeah, you got to hear a lot about my ex.
Yeah,
Doesn't-
you guys got to hear a lot about
doesn't
mine too.
He didn't even deserve the screen time,
No,
but he got it.
but it's okay. And guys, I think I forgot to mention this the last couple episodes, my rules for dating. If he likes you, you'll know. If he doesn't, you'll be confused. If he wants to, he will. Only reciprocate and no chasing. So no chasing, no chasing.
No ghosting.
And don't ghost. Don't ghost everyone. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Thanks again to Hillary for being my guest. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.